Yeah, that's snow on the ground there, and that's my motorcycle. But as you can see down my driveway, there's not much snow, and the temperature's warmed up to be in the mid-20s. Pretty balmy, right? So anyway, given that I've had very few hours on my bike, relatively speaking, this year, it's time for a little late October ride. First thing we need to do is go get some fuel. So we're headed down to the bottom of the hill. All right, let's stop in here and button up a little bit. We'll ease our way up Camp 9 Road here a little bit and just see how the going is. Not only will it probably be a little bit warmer, moving at 30 to 35 as opposed to highway speeds, but it's a little prettier ground. I like to stay off the road whenever I can. Most of this area here down in the lower part of the Camp 9 area is private. It used to be Forest Service a little farther down, but they'd sold some of that off quite a number of years ago. It's pretty nice ground. But I think we're pretty close to getting into the where we have Forest Service land on both sides of the road. I haven't stopped to figure out how many miles I put on my bike this summer, but it's not much, relatively speaking, for sure.
I'm guessing maybe 1,000 miles. Could be a little more, but not much. It's been a busy summer. Had a lot of things going on with work and with my network consulting business, as well as a fair amount of time spent being distracted with Vlad the Impala. And Vlad, by the way, is getting a new transmission. I put about 4,000 miles on Vlad this summer. Things went great. Until this fall, I went to get some supplies to work on a project and took the car. Drove fine on the way up, and when I left the parking lot to go home with the supplies, the transmission slipped a little bit. And it pretty much just went downhill from there. The previous owner had swapped out the old Power Glide with a Turbo 350, and it looked like, based on what I saw in the pan, they probably just pulled it out of something, and I don't know that they even changed the fluid. It was pretty dirty in there. Anyway, I'm kind of regretting that I didn't drop the transmission pan and change the fluid filter right away. But I'm guessing, just looking at the amount of sediment that was in there, that it was probably due for an overhaul anyway. So, we're putting a Turbo 350C in there, which is pretty much what you'd expect as a Turbo 350 transmission with a lockup clutch and the torque converter. And so that should drop my RPM on the highway by about 10%. So I'm hoping that'll also net me just a little bit better fuel economy. And that, coupled with the 283, may just keep that big old car at a reasonable operating cost. And that's good, because I really enjoy driving it. I think we could probably run into a little bit of ice here at places on this road. There's definitely some snow left over from our little blizzard, and I'm gonna say probably frost on this road too. This is pretty shady in here, so I'm gonna probably back it off just a little bit. Yeah, I don't know how far up I'll go. This has the potential to get pretty dicey at any point here. Probably wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't for all the shade. But I'm just out to enjoy myself this afternoon, not really to have an adventure, so not interested in sliding around. And I think if we keep going up, that's a very real possibility. We'll get over here in the snow where we got a little bit of traction and putter ourselves on down here to the wide spot so we can turn around.
Battery level is low.
Besides, my intercom system just is telling me that the battery level's low. So I guess probably close to time to head back anyhow. Okay. Well, that's it for today's adventure. I guess for what it's worth, the EOS 7 Plus did pretty good. I didn't slip at all. I just didn't want to go downhill into those ruts. It's kind of hard to tell how much ice is actually there. And with the ruts, it has the potential to throw me around a little bit. So that's why I decided to just go straight across. Stay on the snow and needles where I had a little bit of traction, and then turn there as opposed to seeing what would happen if I bounced through those ruts.